All right, thank you everyone for joining our Zoom with Drew Aller. As always, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. We'll start with Rich Carcel.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning, Drew. How are you today?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Drew, can you just discuss what your rehab has been like? What is the prognosis? Will you be ready for the combine?
Yeah, yeah, to some extent. So I had successful ankle surgery or surgery on my left ankle. Rehab's been really good. Off to a really good start. I'm not really going to get into all the timeline stuff because it could be like iffy. You never know if you have setbacks or you're ahead of schedule. But right now it's on a really good track. I have an amazing athletic team here that's helping me out a ton. Coaches are helping me out a ton, and I got a great team around me between like parents and agents and all that sort of thing that have really helped me through the process so far. And honestly, I have really good teammates that have made the transition a lot easier. It's easy being around the guys and kind of going through it with them and not kind of being somewhere else.
Hello, Donahue.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning, Drew. We really appreciate your time. Hope you're doing well today.
Appreciate it.
Wanted to just, I know it's not fun to look back at, but you had a 24-hour span there where you suffer a college career-ending injury and James loses his job. I just want to know the best you can, what was that moment like, that weekend like, and what did you do to bounce back from it?
I mean that was one of the honestly probably one of the worst weekends of my life. And I mean, to bounce back from it, I just stuck to my circle between my teammates here at Penn State and my family back home. Coach was at the hospital with me Saturday night, like when I was getting more imaging done to kind of figure out everything. And then obviously I was in that team meeting Sunday morning when everything, was kind of broke to us. But then honestly, I had to kind of get back home to Medina and flew out Tuesday out of Cleveland to go down and get surgery. So, it was a very fast flip of the switch, honestly. Like it still doesn't feel real to some extent. And it's kind of just going with it day by day. But yeah, it was a crazy, really 72 hours in all honesty between like that Saturday to really Monday. But yeah, I mean, it's just dealing with it and taking it a day at a time.
Max Ralph.
Hey Drew, thanks for being here. As you look ahead to senior day this weekend, we've also heard so much about how you've been around the team throughout all this, even traveled with them. Why has it been important for you to continue to be around this team despite the injury? And what do you think the emotions might be like this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, there was kind of two things for me. Like for me selfishly, like I felt like I needed to be around the team for my own sake, honestly. I didn't want to leave the guys, and really leave the coaches just because I knew what kind of situation we were in, and I have so much respect for obviously all the staff and players, and wanted to be there for them, wanted to be there for Grunk, help him any way I could because I knew he was going to be stepping into a tough task at hand, and he's done a phenomenal job. It's been really cool to see his process and growth throughout. Like 4 or 5 weeks starting now. And then honestly, for me, rehab wise, I felt like it was going to be best for me to, be around Penn State. Obviously, have all the resources at my hand to, get better and that sort of thing. We have a great staff here, like I mentioned, that has really helped me so far. And for me personally, as a captain, like I felt like it was honestly like an obligation for me to be there for the guys. Obviously, I can't be out there and playing and impacting the game the way I want, but I want to still have some impact on the team in any way I can, whether that's helping guys get ready for the game mentally, physically, or whatever, just talking to them on the sideline, being a, positive reinforcement for those guys, recycling positive energy, and just doing any way that finding any part that I can to, help the team win games.
Big Pickle.
Drew, thanks for your time.
Yep, no problem.
You mentioned Grunk from your perspective now as more of a coach and helper of him, obviously. How have you evaluated his progress over the last 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think he's made really good strides. I think you can kind of see that, and just if you turn on the film, and regardless of what the stats say, like if you just turn on the film and watch his first start from Iowa to last week, you can see the growth every week. I think he's made a handful of big time throws, especially off our play pass game, and I think it's been really cool to see the offense unfold with him at the helm. Just because, obviously I have a different perspective on it now, watching from the sideline. And I think it's been really cool to see all the guys rally around him and him, always being that positive energy out on the field, whether things are going his way or not his way. It's been really cool to see. He's done a tremendous job. And obviously, I think we can all see that he has a really bright future ahead of him.
John Sauber.
Hey Drew, how are you?
Good. How you been?
I'm doing good. You mentioned those 72 hours and how difficult those were. What have the last 5 weeks been like for you from an emotional standpoint, not being able to play, not being able to practice, and kind of having to watch for the first time in a long time?
Yeah, it's definitely a different perspective. I've had a lot of talks with coaches and really trainers about it, and even players, honestly. Like it's just a different perspective because my freshman year I wasn't really playing, but at least I was the backup, so I had a, you know, playing mindset, so to say. Obviously now I can't really have a playing mindset as much as I want to have a playing mindset. So it's really just shifting my perspective of everything, and just seeing things in a different way than I have before. I think, for me now, I'm able to see things from like a 30,000 foot view, instead of like maybe a 1,000 foot view, just because I'm not the one that's taking every snap and that sort of thing. And I have put a lot of things into perspective and really just kind of tried to take this time to grow mentally and obviously get physically right again. But it's been unique. Obviously, I didn't picture myself being in this position, but just trying to make the most of it.
Daniel Gallen.
I really appreciate getting your time this morning, Drew. Going off that last question, when you talk about having this different perspective now at this point in your career, what are some of the things that you've learned, over these past 5 weeks, and what will you take forward from having this opportunity to maybe sit back a little bit and look at it from that perspective?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the biggest things is just seeing how everything operates around you. Because I mean, when you're the one playing, like you don't really see everything that goes on around you, as much as you think you do. But now that you're the one kind of just sitting back and studying everything and just watching it from a different view from the sideline, like you can see a lot of different things unfolding. And you really understand why things happen or why we do things certain ways. And I think really that's the biggest thing. I think it's just, again, I know I got to repeat myself, but it's just perspective shifting. And that's really the biggest thing I'll take, and just not taking anything for granted, because again, like one play season can be done, and just whenever I am back, just not taking anything for granted.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Drew, appreciate your time in doing this. Obviously, you've been through so much this year, and when we kind of look at you guys in that senior class, there were always such high expectations for you guys, and you guys have won a lot of games here. What do you think your legacy is here, and what do you think the legacy is for your recruiting class here too?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us as a collective group, obviously, we fell short of our ultimate goals, but I don't think that really underlies how much success we've really had here. And I think we've been a part of a lot of things, a lot of highs, some lows, obviously, but that's kind of the game of football and the game of life. I think we have a lot more to be proud of than not to be proud of. It's been a fun ride, honestly. Like just getting to build relationships with the coaches and the players over the last four years has been great. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Just have lifelong friends, and obviously you can look at things from a ton of different lenses, and there's always going to be outside perspective and noise and opinions. But honestly, like I know I'm proud of what we accomplished here. Obviously, we all wanted more, but we got to a spot where we really haven't been in a while. Obviously, it didn't pan out the way we wanted to this year, but there's still a ton to be proud of from this team and our 22 recruiting class in general.
Mike Gross.
Drew, are you hearing me?
I got you now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thanks for your time, Drew. Since Terry took over, there's been a couple times when he said we're going to throw the ball down the field. We got to throw the ball down the field. And in the last couple of weeks, they kind of had a breakthrough where they kind of did connect with that. And his explanation was we called the plays to throw the ball down the field. Um, do you kind of wish you'd have heard that 6 weeks ago? Did that cross your mind to think, wow, I wish I would have heard that before?
I mean, honestly, like I felt like we did throw the ball downfield as a quarterback. Obviously, I want to throw the ball downfield every play. That's just not how it works out sometimes, and you have to find different ways to win. And I think we've done a great job the last couple of weeks of hitting different things and play action passes. And honestly, like I think it's just for me, like I think when I was playing, like we did hit shots downfield and we called a fair amount of shots. It's just that sometimes the defense takes it away and you have to, we always talk about it in the quarterback room, take what's given. And sometimes it's the deep post or the go route, but sometimes it's not. And you just have to take care of the ball, stay on schedule. And, all those plays will obviously come to you when you let them you don't force it and let them or you don't force it and you just let them come to you in the flow of the game. But obviously, it's just you just have to play the game how the play game is called, and no matter if somebody thinks it's the best play called or the worst play called in the history of football, like my job as the quarterback and our job as players is to go out and make plays. And if we go out and make plays, if I make throws, if I find one or two more throws throughout the games that I was playing, like maybe it's a different perspective and maybe people have different opinions, but you can't really judge it now. You just have to learn from it and grow from it.
For three more, Mark Wogenrich. Mark, we can't hear you.
Yeah, got me now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, apologies. I was talking already. Um, Again, Drew, I just wanted to echo everybody and say thanks for doing this. We appreciate it. And understanding that you don't want to get too deep into the timeline, but is it your intention that you want to be ready for like the Senior Bowl or the Combine next year?
I mean, I again, like I'm not going to get into that too much just because there's a lot of things that have to go in a certain way, and I don't want to rush anything back because I have a lot of time. Like fortunately enough, my injury, although it's going to take time to heal, it's not the most significant injury in the world. There's guys that have suffered a lot worse injuries than me, and I'll be able to make a full recovery. And I'm excited for that process. Again, I know I keep saying it. The process has been going really well. I have a great team around me that have helped me through the mental challenges and the physical challenges, obviously, and just taking it a day at a time, not looking into the future of trying to guess when I'll be fully cleared for anything, just because it kind of gets into a crapshoot. You never know if you're 2 weeks ahead of schedule, 2 weeks behind, or just on time.
Rich Garcello.
Drew, thanks again for your time. How often did you speak to Coach Franklin after your surgery? And have you had a chance to talk to him since he was hired at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like as you guys know, I have a great relationship with Coach Franklin. I probably talk to him every other day. Really since I guess we've both been done. Now that we phrase it like that, but yeah, I'm very excited for him. He's gonna do a great job at Virginia Tech. I think it's a great spot for him. I'm very excited to see what he does. I'm very happy for him and his family. They've done a great amount for me and my teammates, obviously, but have a really good relationship with all of them. I was just texting with his wife yesterday and texting with him, kind of trying to leave him alone, though, right now, since I know he has a pretty busy schedule with everything that he's got going on. But it's going to be really fun to, just keep in touch with him and just follow his journey and just see how everything unfolds for him.
For two more, Tyler Donahue.
Hey Drew, we had Danny on a call like 2 weeks ago, I think, and he talked about how he was very adamant that your career was just really getting going and that you had a lot of good football ahead of you. What's your viewpoint on what lies ahead for you in this sport, playing the position of quarterback, and what you can accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, not. I totally agree with Danny. Like, I think my best football is ahead of me. I think, honestly, this injury might be a blessing for me just to be able to kind of sit back and, reflect on different things, and just learn different things, whether that be, offensive scheme, defensive scheme. Like, I've kind of already dove into a lot of NFL tape, and obviously helping Grunk. I try to watch film with Grunk as much as I can throughout the week. And yeah, I've been watching a lot of NFL film already. Gonna start breaking down some defenses, just kind of see what it's like, see the different tendencies, and just try to soak up all the knowledge that I can in this process. And I think for me, personally, I think I know the best football is ahead of me in my career, and I'm excited to have a chance to showcase that, and just get back on track and just playing football again.
Last question, Roger Snyder.
Hey, Drew, I think all of us, and I know Coach Franklin, a lot of people are still trying to figure out when we look at the bigger context of this season and, the expectations and all of that. How do you feel like you guys kind of as a team got to this point? And, it looks like you guys were so close against Oregon, and then from there, so much has changed. Have you had time to kind of process that? And how would you maybe evaluate how the team and specifically how this offense kind of went this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I honestly I've had a lot of time to reflect on it. Maybe not the most fun subject to do for myself personally, but yeah, I think for me personally, like we wouldn't be in this position if I find ways to make more plays throughout the game. Like just, I mean, going back to the Oregon game, if I find different ways to get going early or make the game finish a different way at the end of the game, I think that kind of changes our outlook on the season. But I think it's football is not a one coach game, a one player game. Like it's a total team buy-in, team collective. Like I know Coach Terry said it at halftime this last week. Like as players, we just gotta go out and make plays. And I know like I left a little bit out on the field, more than I would have liked going into this year. And if I find ways to make maybe three or four more plays in every game, no matter if we won the game or lost the game, I think it's a different perspective on or outlook on the season so far. Like I think we'd be in a different spot. But sometimes it just doesn't shake out the way you want it. And that's football. Like out of our six losses this year, one hasn't been a one score loss. Like we've done a lot of good things. It's just unfortunately we haven't found ways to come out and win the games that we wanted to win. And again, I know I keep repeating myself throughout this, but like it's just how it played out, unfortunately. Like if I would have made a couple more plays and that sort of thing, like I think we're in a different spot.